What's up, everybody? Cody Bidlow with sprintingworkouts.com and ATHLETE.X. Today we're talking about three things. One, a new tool you can use in your training. Two, the race I did this past weekend against Tyreek Hill. And three, this workout. So first things first, as you know, I like data in my training. I think it's useful to look at your times, look at your lifting metrics, and assess that over time so you can see, am I making progress? Is what I'm doing working? And so I'm always keen on, using as much data as is reasonable so that way I can get the most out of my training. So the new tool that I'm going to talk about today is the Freelap FxMotion. So what is this going to do? Well, for one, it will give you reaction time. So if you have a Freelap e-starter and you're wondering what your reaction time is, this will tell you. Second, it'll tell you stride frequency, it'll tell you step count, and from that you can deduce what the stride length is. It will tell you the stride length if you plug it into the Freelap app what distance you're running. Now, why is this useful? Well, for one, you can see, do I run faster with a stride length emphasis, a stride frequency emphasis, or with a balance of the two? You'll probably find that you tend to run your best with a balance of the two, but some people tend to be more stride length dominant, some people tend to be more stride frequency dominant. So whatever the case is, this will give you some data that you can then use in your training. So each rep, you can see, what was my frequency like? What was my stride length like? Maybe you notice that your stride length is at a certain place and your stride frequency is at a certain place. But then after doing a certain intervention in your training, you see, oh, my stride frequency stayed the same, but my stride length increased, and I'm seeing that the times are faster. Or maybe you come into a session and you're feeling a little tired, and all of a sudden you see your stride frequency is way down. Maybe that's a sign that you're fatigued and you got to cut back on the session or focus on resting and come back another day for a more intense session. There's all kinds of ways you can use this information, and in some ways it's just cool to see, but if you're looking to incorporate this type of information into your training, then check out the FxMotion by Freelap. I'll leave a link down in the description below where you can check it out. It's $289. It'll work with the Freelap system you already have. If you want to check it out, feel free to do so. Second point for today. This weekend I raced Tyreek Hill. You've probably seen my video, whether it was on my profile or one of the 1,000 profiles who either asked for permission to use it or stole it from me. He ran real fast. He ran 10.15, which is faster than I expected, but he ran 10.15, and it was amazing to watch from lane 7 as he was, pulling away from me the whole time. And I think he proved himself that he's legitimately fast. So it was cool to get out there, and it was awesome to get to race against him. I ran 10.89 in the prelim and 10.90 in the final. Both were win legal, so that marks my 15th and my 16th time under 11 seconds this year. Previous to this, the most I had ever done in a season was 8 times under 11 seconds. So that tells me that I am improving. I'm more consistent than I've ever been. I just need to have, a good day, so to speak, and I should be able to run a personal best. I do think that I was a little fatigued still from that 120 meter personal best that I did, because typically I will run faster in a final than in a prelim. Pretty much every time that I've ever run 2 races in one day, I run faster in the second race if they're both hundreds. Now, after that 120 where I ran 12.77 here 14 days ago, I was just cooked after that. Like, my next session I was slow. Then I had my pre-meet session, which still I felt kind of slow. And so I think it just took a little bit more out of me than I accounted for. And so I didn't have that last gear of ability within me to really run my fastest. But all things considered, I feel good about the competition. It was fun to get out there. I'm always happy to run under 11 seconds. So to run 10.89 and 10.90, I can't complain. Would I like to run faster? Yeah, of course. But at the same time, did I get hurt? No. Did I have fun hanging out with, my friends and seeing people and racing and all that? Yes. Was it, another couple reps in the tank, some quality sprints, some good training, all that stuff? Yes. So all things considered, I'm happy with it. Third point of the video, today's workout. So came out today. I had my competition on Friday. I ran 3 total races, 200s, and then I just kind of cruised to 200 just to get a little extra work in. I took the next day off. Then it was Father's Day, and I decided to go to the gym and just do some, power-oriented, explosive type stuff. Now today is the day after. I am a little bit sore from that, but I don't feel tired, so I thought, well, I'll come out. I'm only really sore in my quads. Hamstrings felt okay, calves felt okay, so I thought, why not get out and run? So I came out to the track, did my warm-up, did my hurdle hops. I hit a new personal best of ground contact time on the 42-inch hurdles. I hit 208 milliseconds between the last 2 hurdles of ground contact time. So that was nice. My reactivity is good. That's improving. Prior to that, my best was 215, so glad to see that's improving. Then I hopped into some sprints. I did 30, 60, 90, 90. From 30 to 60, I ran 296, and from 60 to 90, I ran 3.00 and 3.02. So I'm still a little fatigued from the meet and from the lift yesterday, which is what I expected. I did not expect to come out today and run anything crazy, but I knew that I could run fast enough to still get a good stimulus and still have a quality workout, so I thought, well, why not? After I did the first 90, because I did 30, 60, 90, I decided to use the Freelap FxMotion chip to see what is the difference in my time if I really emphasize stride length. Now, I didn't try to reach and grab the ground out in front of me, but I did focus on trying to propel myself off the ground with a more force-dominant approach rather than trying to move as quickly as I possibly could, and I essentially ran the same exact time. You can change your stride length, you could change your stride frequency, but emphasizing one over the other is really not going to lead to the best results. What's going to lead to the best results is having a balance of the two that allows for nice rhythmic harmonic movements, that allows for your ground contacts to be placed in the right point on the ground, that allows you to manage your posture, that allows you to stay relaxed. I do think that the stride length oriented run felt a little better, mainly because I felt more relaxed, but on the same token, I did feel like it put more tension through my hamstrings in a certain way. So if you were to go too extreme on that end, opening up quite a lot because you're spending more time in the air, taking less steps, in theory, you could put yourself at risk of an injury. But at the same time, if you're stride frequency oriented and you're just spamming frequency, you could put yourself at risk of injury too, because you're probably going to be more tense. The relaxation isn't going to be there quite as much. And so whichever way you cut it, there's no magic bullet. There's no, this is the way to run faster. It doesn't exist. But you can use that data to track, am I getting better? Am I covering more ground at the same stride length? Or is my frequency improving without me trying to have a higher stride frequency? Those are the types of insights that I think you can gain from data that can actually be useful. If you see that your stride frequency is improving and your stride length is staying the same or improving, or vice versa, your stride length's improving and your frequency is staying the same, or they're both improving, then you're likely running faster, And you can look back at your training and see what led to that. And that's where I think this data can be useful. So that's how I'm going to be using it, keeping track of what am I doing, what's leading to the fastest times, what training is leading to changes in data, and those sorts of things. One more quick thought that I had about the whole stride frequency and stride length thing is, if you run basically the same time, say over a 90 or 100 or whatever, like I did today, with kind of either approach, spamming frequency or spamming stride length, it made me think that maybe for the 200, I should be orienting myself more towards stride length, because it seems to me that it would be a more efficient way of running. You would probably be less tired if you're taking less steps and covering more ground. Now on the flip side, could you say that if you're covering more ground, you're using more effort when you're on the ground, so really there's no gain in efficiency when you go through the whole race? Maybe. But it at least got me thinking about that, and I don't have a final conclusion on that, but it was just a thought that popped in my head that if I can run the same time over a 90, taking 46 steps versus 43 steps, well, then over the course of a 200, if I take 6 steps more because I'm emphasizing stride frequency, is that going to catch up with me at the end? Maybe I'll run a faster 150, but am I going to run a faster 200? Or if I'm relaxed, I'm covering ground, I'm more forceful, and I'm not rushing my frequency, am I going to run a faster 200 that way? It's something to consider, and that's something that you can test in your training if you have a way to get the data. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got something out of it. This is Cody Bidlow with SprintingWorkouts.com and ATHLETE.X signing off.